Howdy, y'all. Galator here. And we're going really low budget this week because I'm not in my normal place, so I don't have a good camera, a good mic, or any editing software. Which means no classic WoW video, and instead we're going to do another book review. So the first book I'm going to do is The Elephant Vanishes by Haruki Murakami. So right off the bat, since I've been ranking these books, this one comes in third, right after Kafka on the Shore, Norwegian Wood, and then this one. And before I give you the synopsis, quick preface, I read this book thinking it was a novel. So I was trying to connect all of the individual chapters together. I thought it was just some weird writing style until I was about 3 chapters in and learned it's a collection of short stories. So here we go. In the tales that make up The Elephant Vanishes, the imaginative genius that has made Haruki Murakami an international superstar is on full display. In these stories, a man sees his favorite elephant vanish into thin air, a newlywed couple suffers attacks of hunger that drive them to hold up a McDonald's in the middle of the night, and a young woman discovers that she has become irresistible to a little green monster who burrows up through her backyard. By turns haunting and hilarious, in The Elephant Vanishes, Murakami crosses the border between separate realities and comes back bearing remarkable treasures. Alright, so because this one was a collection of short stories, it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense for me to do an over-the-top synopsis and review, but I want you to get hooked on it, and they're remarkable short stories and they really get you hooked. So I'm just going to tell you the title of the short story, and then a ridiculous sentence that maybe will make you more interested in reading it. So, 1. The Wind-Up Bird and Tuesday's Women. A man is making spaghetti. A woman calls him, masturbates on the phone, his marriage is failing. 2. The Second Bakery Attack. Couple gets hungry. Holds up McDonald's at gunpoint. 3. The Kangaroo Communique. A guy receives a letter at a department store. He writes back about visiting kangaroos. 4. On seeing the 100% perfect girl one beautiful April morning. That's what happens. 5. Sleep. A woman loses the ability to sleep. She develops a second life. 6. The Fall of the Roman Empire, the 1881 Indian Uprising, Hitler's invasion of Poland, and the Realm of Raging Wind. Man keeps diary. 7. Lederhosen. Woman goes to Germany, realizes she doesn't love husband. 8. Barn burning. A man enjoys burning barns. 9. The Little Green Monster. A little green monster comes out of the ground. 10. Family affair. He does not like his sister's boyfriend. 11. A window. He's a pen pal for women who want to learn to write. 12. TV people. There are people who deliver TVs. 13. A slow boat to China. A Japanese person meets a Chinese person. 24. The dancing dwarf. In a dystopian society, a dancing dwarf is the worst thing possible. 15. 25. The last lawn of the afternoon. A teenage boy quits his summer job. 26. The silence. And 28. The Elephant Vanishes. It does indeed. Alright, and the second book I read was My Antonia by Willa Cather. I'll read you the back first. Widely recognized as Willa Cather's greatest novel, My Antonia is a soulful and rich portrait of a pioneer woman's simple yet heroic life. The spirited daughter of Bohemian immigrants, Antonia must adapt to harsh existence on the desolate prairies of the Midwest. Enduring childhood poverty, teenage seduction, and family tragedy, she eventually becomes a wife and mother on a Nebraska farm. A fictional record of how women helped forge the communities that formed a nation, My Antonia is also a hauntingly eloquent celebration of the strength, courage, and spirit of America's early pioneers. Alright, so My Antonia, off the bat, I'll say yes, I recommend this to everyone, even though it is in a weird setting, not so weird I guess for me, but it takes place on the prairie in Nebraska when it was still a forming area. And it follows the story of a young boy who moves there from Virginia to live with his grandparents that are successful farmers. And it's telling the story of his poor Bohemian immigrant neighbors, particularly their young girl, Antonia. And it follows her life all the way from when they first moved there and she's a little girl, to at the very end where she's married to, I won't say. It's weirdly a page turner. You wouldn't think this book would be exciting. Nothing particularly exciting happens in it, but you want to know what happens next. I mean, they have lots of hardships on the prairie, just like O Pioneers, her other book. But there's no like real crisis in the book, which I guess is what drives some novels. But this is really about the characters. It takes a good look at like, you know, how women helped shape those rural communities. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'd give it a 4 out of 5. If that fits on my rating scale, I don't remember. I really just picked this book up because I'm from Nebraska, and I knew Willa Cather was a Nebraskan author, but all right, and the final book is Dance, Dance, Dance by Haruki Murakami. Dance, 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 a follow-up to A Wild Sheep Chase, is a tense, poignant, and often hilarious ride through Murakami's Japan, a place where everything that is not up for sale is up for grabs. As Murakami's nameless protagonist searches for a mysteriously vanished girlfriend, he is plunged into a wind tunnel of sexual violence and metaphysical dread. In this propulsive novel, featuring a shabby but oracle sheepman, one of the most idiosyncratically brilliant writers at work today fuses together science fiction, the hard-boiled thriller, and white-hot satire. 5 out of 5. Again, I know, like that's every Murakami book. This one goes at the top of my list. It now goes Dance, 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 Kafka on the Shore, Norwegian Wood, and then The Elephant Vanishes. I don't know what the fuck that back of the book description was. That not at all is what the book is about. It's about a man, middle-aged, on a vague quest to maybe find a woman that he used to date. I don't even know, just the feelings of like isolation that he's able to like get across in this book like resound very strongly. The main character seems to occasionally just lose themselves in their thoughts, and they'll slowly get more and more detached from those around them, from the real world. And it almost sounds like they're going crazy, but that's not what Murakami's going for. He's going for that feeling of complete detachment or isolation that everyone experiences. And God, he's spot on. This is probably like the strongest protagonist I've like ever like resounded with. Just his like internal monologues, the way he goes through things. In particular, there was one scene which I'll just share. I listened to it on audiobook. I highly recommend. It was well read. And the character he thinks he sees the girl that he's been looking for. So he follows down some busy streets into an abandoned building, and when he reaches the top of the building, the sun is starting to set, and all of a sudden he walks into a room that's pitch black, and he sees a whole living room set up, like a couch, the television, plates at the dinner table, just there's dust on the plates. Everything looks as if everything died at that moment, with 6 skeletons carefully arranged throughout the room. And it's this trip from normal, connected member of society to isolated with your own thoughts, just slowly sinking away from everyone. It was terrifying. I had to stop the book because I was driving at night. I can't recommend this book enough. It's also thrilling. You meet really interesting characters, the way they interact, the writing's beautiful. There's still like crisis in the book occasionally, like something will happen, he'll try to resolve it. So if you read a book for story, there's a bit of a story, a bit of a mystery, but really it's just following this character from beginning to end. I don't really want to say anything else about the book just because I've never read such a well put together novel, I think. Alright, sorry for the shitty quality of this video. I really should start recording videos before I leave Chicago. The next 3 books I'm going to read, if you're interested, are The Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. I know I said I'd read this time. Apologies. Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? And Hardboiled Wonderland and the End of the World. So another Murakami book. So those are the next 3 I'm going to read. Spoiler, I've finished them because I haven't done a book review in a long time. And I don't have a video for next Saturday, so you might get a double feature. Until next time, au revoir.